Welcome back to the Punch channel. On the table is Stalingrad 42 by GMT Games, designed by Mark Simonich. This is the Fall Blau campaign, and particularly it is the southern sectors of the Fall Blau campaign down near the Caucasus Mountains and the oil-producing areas around Maykop and that-a-way, Grozny. So this is turn 7. It is August 27th through 31st turn. It is the last day of the summer season, if you will, and I think that is represented here as we are about to get into the rainy season. So we're doing what we can while we can. So the Germans are attacking as advantageously as they can in various areas. I'll point out a little retroactive continuity here. I had moved this 73rd Infantry Division into that hex as part of investing the Maykop area, and that was actually in a Zachban. That was an illegal move, so I simply moved him back one hex. So starting position was there. I think that was it for retcons. So 3 primary attacks in this turn. The first attack was an attack by mobile forces with some infantry and a Romanian unit against the forces here, and got a, if I recall correctly, it was a D1 advance 3, so they, and it was a 7-to-1 attack, so there was no opportunity for a determined defense. They retreated here to the fort hex and disrupted. Constituted a breakthrough group, spent 1 point to change direction, and then attacked into this hex and got a DR2. So the units there retreated into Krasnodar, and the mobile units used their 3rd advance hex in the breakthrough group to move into there with an advance after combat. Actually, that's sort of interesting. I probably should have just advanced everybody, because even the infantry would get an advance after combat. The infantry changed direction and issued an attack, which they could do with their 2 hexes max advance, but they get the advance after combat as well. So I will put them there. That's where I want them to be, after all. So they are not restricted in that fashion. Okay, over here we had these 3 units. So the Romanians came down like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the infantry unit had started here. The other one was 1, 2, 3, 4, because this mountain unit had been here at the start, I believe. And anyway, issued an attack from here at a total of 4-to-1 odds. Even with the river defense, this naval infantry brigade was only sitting at a 4, and we had 14 coming for a base 3-to-1 plus an artillery assist, and got a nice DR2 out of it. And given that this is a single step unit, decided to, with no particular advantages in doing a determined defense, decided to get the heck out of Dodge and retreat back up the road. And you can see with the white arrows the advance after combat. Note the advance after combat over here with the Romanians. So over in the Voroshilovsk area, I took an armor replacement here and moved him 1 hex. Moved this stack rather had been here, moved them there, brought over infantry, and brought down the Slovenian or Slovakian. Anyway, brought them over here, issued a nice 7-to-1 attack with all the advantages of tank and elite tank shifts, and got basically got a D1. I think it was it was a DS, Advance 4, which took out one of the units and lost the other unit due to retreat across Zakbans, which were placed here on the hex sides surrounding. So took out both units at one time, and you can see the advance after combats. Well, the intention here is to be off to the races and get across the Kuma and take some of these areas on the march, if at all possible, but at least to throw a monkey wrench, a spanner in the works, as they say. So that's what's been going on here. Fairly consequential stuff. I would also note that Voroshilovsk now is fully invested and has no line of supply, because any possible line out of here must cross 2 enemy zones of control. So they are now going to have the potential of dying on the vine. It will take a few turns, though, and it will tie up these forces if I care to do it that way. So, tricky. And it's not necessarily, necessary for me to do it that way. I just simply need to block some roads, the more that I think of it, that they can't use this road. It goes the wrong direction. This road can't be used, as far as I know. Actually, that is an interesting thing. I don't have to exactly have units around it if they simply can't use the roads. This road goes in the wrong direction. It can come back and come out to Aramavir, so as long as I am blocking this road junction, then that precludes the use of any of these roads for a supply line. I'd have to block that one too, right, because they need to trace to a road. But I own that town, so doesn't that block off the supply? I think it does. So that takes that line out, that road out. So I simply need to, and I've blocked this road because of the unit here. So I don't have to have these guys sitting right on top of this for these guys to be out of supply. I need to block basically all the road access within 5 hexes. So if I back off to here, if I have this road and this road and this road blocked off, he's still out of supply. He can't trace the supply lines. So that means I can free up a lot of these forces to move forward. Yay, learning something. Hopefully that fist pump was there. All right, so yeah, live and learn. That is the end of Caucasus campaign. This is turn 7 Axis, and I'm going to segue over to the Soviet side. Oh, I suppose I ought to move my railheads. So combat complete, recovery complete, and we'll take off the replacement counter. What else? Railheads, supply, isolation, attrition. He's not isolated yet. Flip headquarters with SPs, of which I have none. Okay. And so the board looks pretty good for the Axis. That'll do. Fair amount of activity here on the Soviet side here in turn 7. So, okay. The NKVD division garrisoning Grozny, it's off camera here. They took the replacement and brought themselves up to full strength. Additionally, I set up a fort in the vicinity of Grozny on the line of the Temryuk. So I started that in place. Working my way back from the east, there was a reinforcing division that came up through entry area J and is headed towards Mozdok at this point. Note how I've set up a line of defense along the whatever heck, along the Kuma here. And that should be a fairly, well, it's about as good a defensible position as I can get with the forces available on hand. I would like it to extend further, but I don't have the forces for it at this point in time. Right. The troops there in Voroshilovsk, and I will put the appropriate counter on them, they are out of supply. That's not a good situation, but they are not subject to isolation rules, not yet, not this turn. Okay, working my way back to the west, in the Maykop area, we've got some movements here of units here, and I think he may have been there in the first place, hard to say. Withdrew from one marsh to the next, over here with a tactical, I can't do that, can I? I think they've got a Zokban there, come to think of it. Well, no, it's across two rivers. They don't have a Zokban. Two river hex sides, no Zokban. So I get to make the tactical move here. And so that gives me Zokbans containing these units. No Zokban there, which is useful to know. Moved up the reinforcing NKVD unit from the August 22nd, 26th turn, moved it into position, and dropped back the Black Sea ASU with its supply point to get it out of danger, as it were. Let's see, made a successful rally roll on the unit that I left here, and will leave him in Krasnodar, and moved another unit down south of Krasnodar with a tactical move. Actually, can I not move two? I think I can move two. So I can do a tactical move. That's a better place for him, I think. Wooded, rough, good defensive terrain, and setting up some nice Zokbans going on there. All right. Withdrew the cavalry units across the Protoka River right here. Moved a couple of the disrupted units from, I'm going to butcher it, Slavyanskaya, there it is. Moved a couple of the units that had been disrupted from Slavyanskaya down to Krimskaya to occupy the fortification there. And in terms of a rally roll, I did get to rally one of the troops. Hey, rally the troops. So that's really about what's going on here. Forming lines of defense, occupying defensive positions here in the Krasnodar area, sitting tight in Voroshilovsk, and forming a defensive line along the Kuma, and beginning the establishment of a line across the Temryuk with fortifications. So we'll see how that goes. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a lot more, something to note on this video, on the Caucasus campaign in Stalingrad 42, is that the Soviets don't have a lot of strong units, right? We're beginning to get to the point where I do have a goodly number of infantry units here, and these are full-strength infantry units, and so I'll have the opportunity, as things narrow down into the Grozny area, the nature of this is going to be that the Soviets will become stronger and stronger, while the Germans are not particularly getting any stronger. You'll see the same thing over here in the retreat along the Kuban. Although I don't have more forces going into the area, but I am starting to get a concentration of force between Krasnodar and Maykop. And if necessary, I can retreat through the mountain passes. And I think I might have the opportunity to relocate from an entry area to another entry area at the cost of, I think, a turn. So I think the way that this probably plays out is that when the defense becomes untenable in this area, I'll hold on to this Kuban region, Kuban River region, if you will, and this peninsula here with Taman, so as to forestall the introduction of the Blucher troops, which, can you even see that? Let's say right over here. Right. As long as I hold Taman, these troops don't become available to the Axis side. So that's something that I would like to very definitely hold on to. I may very well wind up with fortifications wherever I can place them. But I have to admit that I don't have a lot of force here, and sooner or later I'll get knocked back maybe to the coastal areas protected by the mountains somewhat, the Caucasus mountain area, and then probably the Grozny area. Way the heck, can I do that? Yeah, here's Grozny. Hi Grozny. Here's that fortification I was referring to earlier. I'll get knocked back to the point where I'm over here in Grozny, maybe Mozdok, and along the line of the Temryuk, and hopefully anchoring a line at Nalchik. So here, and so on. The nice thing is that the terrain along the Temryuk, the way the map's been drawn, is suitable at least from this point on over to have a nice set of Zokbans along a major river line. It's a little weak here near Prokladny, just because the configuration of hexes and so on means that I'm going to have to garrison a couple of consecutive hexes, I think. So here is good. I'm good all the way along this line, if I have the forces to man the line. And then the tricky part is going to be right there, because that's a bit out of configuration. So we'll just see what happens. That is not a problem for this turn. That is a problem for a future turn. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Would like to hear your comments below in terms of gameplay. I may be missing a rule or a trick here. I think that would be interesting to hear from. By the way, he is not there. He is in the mountains. Mountain infantry in the mountains. Much more preferred. I think he just got nudged. Right, and so I would hope that you would like and subscribe if you're enjoying the series. And of course, I'll keep making the videos. These are progressing fairly quickly. It's taking me, with videos, maybe an hour per turn, and a goodly chunk of that is the time spent on the videos themselves. And I am coming up, 2 more turns, hopefully by this weekend. And you can see the date here, 4/9/26. Hopefully by this weekend, I will turn the corner on the halfway point of this game, which is good, and continue on. All right, well, I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll see you down the road.